What's going on? Guess where we are? We're back in the damn greenhouse again. What are we doing today? We're transplanting tomatoes. We're going to start off with the Tommy Toe cherry tomatoes. They're an indeterminate variety. We're going to put 2 plants in each one of these great big pots I have down here at my feet off camera. You'll see those in a second. And what we're going to do is on the wall beside me over here, we're going to put trellis netting, okay? And we're going to espalier these tomatoes onto the trellis netting. So essentially what that means is it's an old school style of growing generally trees, and they're grown against a wall, and you selectively prune them so that the branches just grow sideways, so they don't grow out, so they don't take up a lot of space. So we're going to espalier those tomato plants against the trellis, and we're going to selectively prune them so that they only grow up and sideways and not out into the greenhouse space. And I'm going to leave certain suckers. Now, for those of you who watch my channel and I'm a big fan of single stemming my indeterminate tomatoes when I grow them outside. My tomato plants reach on average 8 to 13 feet tall every season, and I grow buckets and buckets of tomatoes. But down here, I'm limited to the amount of tomatoes I can grow. So I need to maximize the amount of fruit that each plant can produce in the given space that I'm going to allow it to grow in. So hence why we're going to espalier it, and we're going to selectively grow certain suckers on the plant to produce fruit up to a certain height, and then after that I'm going to top the plant so it doesn't get any higher, and it'll focus the rest of its growing energy on just ripening all that fruit before the springtime comes, and I tear this greenhouse down and then I start all my new summer seeds. Okay, so that's the plan. So I'm going to flip this around. I'll show you what I'm working with here, and you'll see. Okay, so these are my tomato seedlings. We have Tommy Toe down here. Let's get that into the frame better. There we go. So this first row are Tommy Toes, and the second row are Brandywine. And I chose those two for a reason. The Tommy Toe put out lots and lots of delicious cherry tomatoes. My kids love them. They're great in salads, that sort of thing. Pack them in their lunches, whatever. And then the Brandywines, I'm growing those because they grow pretty quick, and they're a nice big slicer tomato, and they're easy to maintain. And so I wanted 2 different kinds, right? Some for sandwiches and hamburgers and that sort of stuff. So we're going to start off with the Tommy Toe. And you can see the 2 great big huge pots we've got here. And we're going to put 2 tomatoes in each pot. So I'm going to start with the Tommy Toes, plant 4 of those tomatoes, which is going to leave me 1 extra. I may plant it, I may not. And we're gonna put 2 in each pot. So we're just gonna start by. So here's the soil. I've already amended it. It's ready to go. And these things need to get out of here. Generally, when you're growing in little cells like this, once they have their first set of true leaves, for the most part, you want to transplant them. So, and it looks like somehow I have a Brandywine growing where my Tommy Toe is supposed to be. You see the leaves there? Those aren't traditional tomato leaves. Those are like the Brandywine leaves. So I'm not sure, maybe a seed fell in there or something when I was planting these. So we're just going to go with it. So we're just going to spin that around like that. Let's zoom this in for you guys. You can see what's happening here a little better. How's that? Good? So we'll start with popping out these tomatoes. Oh, look at how easy that came out. Look at that. How's that for some good root growth? Okay. And for you guys that don't know, let me see if I can get that in the frame. Okay. You see all those little hairs? Okay. They will grow into roots if you bury them in the soil. So whenever you plant tomatoes, be it in pots or out in your garden, I will not be planting it at soil level. These plants are about 5 inches tall, okay, top to bottom. Let's get that into frame here. They're about 5 inches top to bottom. I'm gonna bury about half of this stem in the soil, and what that's going to do is that's going to give me a much stronger plant. Okay? So we're just gonna pull all 4 of these Tommy toes out. Look at that. The roots grew right over the top and right into that other cell. And it's falling apart. Stress that plant right out now. Great. Hope that didn't happen on this one. Let's check this one. A little push from the bottom. Yeah, see, look at that. Right into the other cell. Just snip that off. And then we'll do the last one. Give it a little push from the bottom. Okay. So we got our 4 Tommy toes. We've got our 2 big pots. I'm not even sure how... Let's zoom this out so you guys can see. All right, so we have our 4 tomatoes. I'm not sure how big this pot is. It's, I don't know, 15 gallons, something like that, I guess. So we're just going to take our spoon, dig a little hole, because we're going to bury it a little deeper, right? Just move that out of the way. Do one on either side, like that. Going to take our tomatoes. We're going to put it down in the hole. Not deep enough. There. So watch, when we fill that back in, look how much of that stem we just buried. We're going to do the same on this side. Dig it down deep enough we can bury that large portion of that stem. Pack it down a little bit. Smooth out the soil. And those 2 are good to go. There. 2 little tomatoes. And now that they're buried in the soil, their growth is just going to take right off. We're going to do the same on this side. Dig a deep hole. Now also, when you're burying these, you want to take off any leaves that are going to come into contact with your soil. Put that down in there like that. Rebury them. Pack them down a little bit. Stick the label up there. Same on this side. And if you're wondering if these pots are going to be able to accommodate 2 plants, I figure they will. Generally, I would never do this outside because I've got all the space to grow outside. But what I'm also going to do is I'm going to make sure that these tomato plants are very, very well fed. Tomatoes are big feeders, and if I don't keep these things fed properly, they are going to strip all of the nutrients out of this soil in pretty short order, and we don't want that. So we're going to give it a watering in. Going to go get more water. All right, so that is step 1 for tomatoes. And now that they're in here, like I said, their growth is just going to take right off. So I'm going to clean these up. And I'm going to water these better. I just ran out of water in here. So Now that we've got those in the ground, we're going to get 2 more pots ready to go, and we are going to plant some Brandywine tomatoes. If you guys aren't subscribed, make sure you hit that subscribe bell and hit the notification, and that way you guys will get all the updates, and you're going to be able to watch this whole greenhouse I'm in right now come to life. We're going to fill this whole place with food, top to bottom, front to back. As much floor space and wall space as I can use, and as much as I can grow in here with the lights that I have. And if I find that I'm running out of light, I will just install more lights. So that's essentially how we're going to do it. So thanks for watching, guys. Have a great day. And like I say, grow good food. Have a good one.